going on? What's poppin'? My name is Ragos Pop, and welcome to the Stanley Parable. So this is an old game, an old video game created by Valve. So this is kind of like Half-Life 2, I think. I mean, it takes place in an office instead of the city. So let's go ahead and begin the game. Huh? That's odd. This computer here is mimicking what I'm doing. Let's go. End is never. The end is never. The end is loading? Okay. I guess I have time to stick around. Alright. Oh,
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day, every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-lending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Yeah, I agree.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Whoa. Okay, so we're finally in the game. I can tell that's a pencil sharpener. Ooh, some coffee. Hello? There's a plant. Can we destroy it? No, we can't. This is quite a bit of an office space, I think. No, we can't open the door. Be my Valentine. Hey, Valentine's Day's over. The mailroom? Where is everyone? Where in the world is everyone? Come on. There's gotta be some doors open. No. Nope. Okay, where is everyone today? Maybe they're sick, sleeping in? I don't know.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
On my left? Okay. I thought it was going to be on the right. Okay. Okay, conference room, 3 o'clock.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay. The broom closet. Hello?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Yeah, I need to pick up a weapon or something, like a wrench or a broom.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Really? What's downstairs? Locked. It looks kind of nightmarish because of that red light.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. all of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all?
Oh.
None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley
Oh,
pondered this,
okay.
he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he
What?
see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't
My
be
car!
real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon.
A coffee cup.
I'll have to go
Oh, my
back to
coffee.
my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so
Cool.
lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Alright.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by
Okay,
Stanley.
kind of like
He
the
found
story
it
in
particularly
this game,
strange.
how it's narrating
I'm
itself.
dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And when he
there's a
thought it
car.
all
Can
very
we drive
odd
home?
and wondered if this
No,
voice
no.
spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Okay.
I am okay.
I am okay. Okay, we're awake.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real.
Oh my god, it's turning into a nightmare. No.
And everything went black.
Ah!
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, And in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Oh, come on! I died in that ending? That was crap! Talk about the world's most crappiest ending. Oh, we get to try again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, that was kind of crappy, but let's give it another shot.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Here on our boss's office. Hopefully I am here for a promotion.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad,
what the
Stanley
hell?
happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
What? What on God's green earth? Wait, where are we going?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Alright, here in the boiler room.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Where do we go? This way, or do we escape? You know what? Forget. Let's get out of here. No, let's just go in here. Kinda SAP-like.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Huh? Oh my God, this is terrifying. Bah.
Now the monitors jumped to life. Their
What
true
the
nature
hell?
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
There I am! Tell me what's going on.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For
Kind of
he
strange how he's like,
would
if you ask
dismantle
me.
the controls once. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Ah! Back up.
Stanley, I help you
Back
with
up.
your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires.
No.
Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start.
No.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before...
Dang it! Open the door!
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you was quite rich. I must hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
I don't care. Let me out of here.
Is it that you have no
Let me
idea
out of
where
here.
you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room.
Get me out of here!
Buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game...
I don't know, just get me out of here!
Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
You lunatic!
You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made.
Come on!
This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever up.
What the hell? I blew up. That was a nightmare.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
That was crap. I died.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Alright, here we are.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy. So he relaxed
this is
for a
bad.
few
Just get me out of
with
here.
some calming new age music.
Oh, soothing. But still, this is stupid.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Okay. Good to know. Okay. There we go. Okay. Which way do we go? Do we keep going to the facility,
Stanley
or do we
walked
just...
straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
And on the other is escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley still on board with death.
Kind of spooky. Kind of reminds me of that hallway from the first Saw film. You know, where Detective Singh goes after John. I mean, I can tell the fog.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
You know what? No. Let's just go back and shut it off. I can't stand it anymore. I don't even care anymore. This is a nightmare, and I'm going to end this. So I'm done being a coward. I'm going back and I'm going to shut that mine facility off forever. I don't know where all this fog came from. Okay, let's do it. Back to the facility. Okay, here we are. Let's go ahead and turn it on.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Alright, here we go. Alright. There's the platform.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
There's the bridge.
Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Freedom has a lot of things to do, man.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe it couldn't
beautiful.
be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Let's shut it off.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own
Up we
life
go.
in someone else's control? Never.
Okay,
It
here
was
we go.
unthinkable.
Up,
Wasn't
up.
it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was
Yes,
the
I've been
proof,
blind
the
to the
heart
world.
of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley
Okay, let's
decided
shut
that
it
this
off.
machinery would never... blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives,
fresh air,
it will
birds.
be his. And that was all he
Did it. I beat in the
It
system.
was perhaps the only thing.
I think I'm gonna cry.
Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin,
I'm
the
free
feeling
at
of
last.
liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Yes, I'm a happy man. Oh, we got an achievement. Beat the game. Yes, we did. We've beaten the game. That ending makes me want to cry.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, let's
When
go.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room,
All right.
and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Alright, let's go to the employees' lounge.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Soda.
But eager
Coffee.
to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
This is the factory. Wow.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Yeah, I'm such an idiot. Okay guys, so that's it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed it and it's worth the wait. So please consider subscribing to the channel. My channel. It really helps me out. Smash that thumbs up button. If you want me to play more of this game, click the notification bell, leave a comment, and I shall see you all next time. Goodbye everyone. Stay poppin' and stay safe and take care out there. Peace!
And that's a wrap.